What's up, guys? That Really Ghost Guy here, and we are back playing Oxygen Not Included. So, I don't know for sure, but this may be the last time I am in this base making an episode. This is the base last time I was trying to figure out the problems with the polluted oxygen, the very toxic oxygen, and I think I've kind of got it situated. The problem is, number one is keeping those filled up with what they need to remove the bad oxygen, the toxic oxygen from the air. And then on top of that, because I have 9 duplicates in my settlement, I've kind of suffered in the food producing department as well as kind of the water renewal portions of my department. But I have made some new things since the last episode, and I'll show those off here in a second. And then we're probably going to jump around to a couple of my other bases to show what I've done differently in those ones. So yeah, I also think I figured out possibly why these air deodorizers. I believe these are what are causing liquid or water or whatever to constantly be an issue in my base, because I think these. It doesn't say it. I wish there were more details based on a lot of this stuff that you put in your base, but these emit clay. See, it says they can emit clay, and I believe clay is, it's probably just a mixture of dirt and water. So when the dirt when the clay pops out and lands on the ground, I believe it saturates the floor with a bunch of water. The more and more these things run, and it's constantly producing water all over the place. Now, I don't know why there's water up there. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But I think that's it. I don't know that 100% for sure, but yeah, it's definitely caused me a lot of problems when it comes to mopping stuff up in the base, and I wish I knew that. Honestly, like it seems like if you let this polluted oxygen in your base even a little bit, you screw your base so hard, because then you have to start making these, and then these start dropping water, and then water ends up all over your base. Your settlers become unhappy. They could become stressed. They have to start getting rid of the oxygen, and the only way to do it is by making these, and then because they pull your guys away from the duties they're supposed to be doing, next thing you know, you don't got enough food. You don't got enough anything. So this polluted oxygen is a major pain. A major pain. I don't know. I don't know if some of this other stuff, like, I think this just makes carbon dioxide, and that's something I can handle. But I put so many of these air deodorizers down, just trying to clear up the air, and so far I have run really low, because I ran this for at least 10 to 15 cycles, I think, since the last time. I don't know, maybe. But I'm running low on oxygen at this point, and I just recently created some extra oxygen production for my place, but I was focusing for a long time clearing up this green gas, and you can see I got rid of a lot of it, but there's still the problem of now having little oxygen in my base. But you can see that a lot of the green is gone. It's not perfect, but it's working. You can see around each one of these where we're cleaning up the area. Now, I'm probably going to try, I don't know if this is going to work, I'm going to try and incorporate these gas permeable tiles. I'm actually going to do the mesh tiles, because I want all of this water being produced by these to fall down and get collected in these collection things. So I'm probably going to do that. So let me just real quick pop that here, pop that there, pop that there. I'm probably even going to go across and across, across and across. Yeah, so and there's another. Oh, that's we need to put those in. We need these to be a thing more than we need just the gas. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna see how that affects everything. And I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to see any results in this episode because I do want to, like I said, go over to the other bases. But let's jump in here. Let's get everything going. Hope that food gets a little bit better. Vomiter, narcoleptic, that one's not so bad. Vomiter, can't dig, uncultured. I think I prefer you. Let's do that. So we got 10 people. I don't know if I'm going to go above 10. I got to relieve some stress. I got 10 people, so oh goodness. Yeah, this water's killing my stress level. Everyone that trudges around in this water gets frustrated and they don't like it. So let's do that. Let's try to get some of these guys happier. See, stress vomiting everywhere. That just makes more of a mess. It's crazy. We got all this food that needs to be collected and turned into stuff, but we don't got... I don't know. Right now I'm making the mush bars when I really want to be making these. Problem is I don't know if I have meal lice. How much meal lice do I have? Only 1,500 calories of that. So you guys need to start collecting this. Holy crap, please. Let's go up to 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, and 7. Alright. So there's that. Hopefully they start doing some stuff. I want to get one of these puffed guys in my bases, but I have this set to open and no one is frickin' coming down here and doing it. These guys absolutely refuse to be productive and it's pissing me off. That needs to be something that's fixed in this game because there are times I cannot figure out why my guys will absolutely straight up refuse to do things. Absolutely refuse. I actually went to about cycle 90 and I had to reset it back to like cycle 70 because I put all these in and they would not build them. They absolutely straight up refused to build them over and over and over and over and over again. They refused to do so much work and I don't know what I don't know. I couldn't get them to do what I wanted them to do. But basically I set up a little system down here. You'll see is I'm pumping up all this stuff, sending it straight to a purifier. This purifier is going to create clean water. This clean water is going to go into an air scrubber to produce oxygen, and then it is going to quite literally just drop back into here and eventually just get sucked up, repurified, and reoxygenated. You used to be able to basically pump the oxygen up to the purifier, cut off the pump, and then make this a complete cycle, a complete circuit, and it would just constantly continue to produce oxygen. They're gonna fix that. I'm almost certain that they're going to make that not possible. So eventually, if you chose to do that, you would run out of water, and these pipes would end up empty because, let's say, the scrubber would use more water than it would produce polluted water. So eventually I'm sure that's going to go away. So what I decided to do is to just make it a circuit all the way up until the liquid plops out of it and back into the giant pool to get eventually cycled up anyways. I don't know what's going on here. This is stupid. I don't understand. This thing has electricity. It has everything it needs to produce, and it is not producing. It is, and this happens sometimes. I get water that just stops doing a thing, and I don't know why. You can kind of see it here too. Is this air scrubber appears to be working? Okay, now did it all of a sudden work? Okay, it all of a sudden worked. I don't know, but this has not been producing in over 10 cycles, so I don't know what to make of it. Anyways, see, that works. That's working just fine. Anyways, I don't know. So that's that. This is gonna constantly do its thing. Like I said, I might return to this file. It might get corrupted by the time I get around to doing it because, like I said, in about 2 weeks, they are doing a larger update. So this file might just become corrupt. So I don't know. But yeah, so that's the base up until this point, and you guys have seen me for the most part build everything here apart from this section, the water pump section, which I'll show you some more examples of the water pump stuff in the future. And I think there was a gap in time where I kind of expanded the base, but it was kind of just me repeating what I did in the first couple episodes over and over again to make sure I could sustain myself. But anyways, we're back up in food, thankfully. We still are low on oxygen, but we are cycling out a lot of this green. You can see that a lot of this green is now gone. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if we're gonna pull through. But I've made it happen. I physically kind of restored this base to some degree, and I learned a little bit in the process. So there's that. I'm going to save real quick, and like I said, I'm going to move over to some other save files. So Doomrock, I believe, was my first place. Krog manual save. This is in cycle 26, so this is actually further behind, but I believe I started this file knowing more about the game, so let's get into it. I honestly haven't been on this in a little while, so yeah. So what I did here, it is paused, so we're good to go. I made sure I stayed low in population. This is not the one where I started working with gas yet, so I'll talk about gas here in a second. But as you can see, my most polluted area is, or not polluted, but carbon dioxide area is around the water. I believe this all sinks, so carbon dioxide sinks and air rises. So this is all falling to the lowest areas in the base. I built out this large water section first. This was the first water section I built out. Actually, was it? I don't know. I don't know for sure. Maybe I built this section out and then I expanded over here because I cleared a pocket or something. I don't remember for sure. But I do have two separate water gathering tanks. In between, I started building a section with purifiers and batteries so that I could constantly purify water, and I was going to put in those oxygen, what are they called? The air scrubbers in the future. I was going to put them over here, kind of do that closed cycle type thing, but I didn't get to that point yet in this save. And that's because, number one, is this section was the only section I had cleared out that I could put these pumps in. But I'm a little nervous that when this water gets up high enough, that's why I'm putting a ladder in here. Is because eventually I'm gonna have to lock this door, and eventually I'm gonna have to lock this door when this water gets too high and this water gets too high. So it's kind of just where I started and the closest pockets that I could move to, and with the closest water. I think when I started this, the closest water pocket I believe was like, or no, it was like here, which wasn't too far. But then there was one like here, and then I drained this water down here. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, this is the first one I did. I drained the water down here, and then there was a pocket of water here and a pocket of water here, and I drained the water down here. So everything with this water was kind of far away, and I kind of just built to accommodate for these two large water pockets, and it's not doing so amazing. I have all these refrigerators, which I realized are just going to hurt me electricity-wise, so I don't really need them. So I'm going to delete all but one. And then I am working on these toilets to make everybody a little bit more happy and clean in the space, but I don't know. Like I said, I started this base shortly after I got a good comprehension of how to keep oxygen in the base, and as you can see, I'm doing okay. I had oxygen where I needed it. I want to make these permeable, these um, pneumatic doors, so that they don't block the air, so that I can keep all my oxygen up here. Because with all my people sleeping up here, they're sucking up the oxygen, and this has run out of oxygen. So something I got to work on. That's why I made these gas permeable tiles next to the ladder, so that the gas could go up to this section. But it doesn't work all that well. There's definitely leaving a gap works better than having these tiles in place. So that's something I learned by doing this base, by creating this base, is the lack of oxygen flow. But that's okay. I got these biodistillers, which have been doing a thing. These create some carbon dioxide, so that's not really good. I don't really know, because I'm getting incredibly, I think it's low on algae here. Organic. Yeah, I'm kind of low on algae, and I need to move into algae, but this is where all the toxic stuff is. And as you can see, I have a little bit of toxic air in here, but I haven't let any in, really. Like, I've let a tiny bit in, but as soon as I go into this area to get slimed, or to try and grab this algae, or where's, I don't know, is that a clay algae? There's algae somewhere, I don't know. But in order to convert slime into algae, to start doing the algae deoxidizers and all that stuff, yeah, I'm just so super nervous to get in this toxic air, because it's been killing my base, my other base. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is all chlorine, and so I can't really go over there. That's algae, but I don't know if I want to risk it. I was thinking about going up here instead. I was gonna extend this ladder all the way up, but still, you know, we'll get the toxic air in here. I don't know. I'm not too sure. So there's that, and let's go over to. We got Doomrock, we got Krog, and Dystopia, I believe is... Yeah, I believe Dystopia is my most recent, the one that I knew the most going into. However, I have learned some things just over the last hour or so, figuring out the water problem, the water showing up everywhere in my base. So in this one, I pretty much decided to pool everything in one area, because I would rather pump this water through purifiers instead of creating two separate pools and doing all that. So I have one large thing of water. I just recently expanded into this area because I am at the point where I need to get slime and algae. Even though I am running these new scrubbers, I expanded down here because it's just gonna provide me with an extra, you know, I got a lot of algae actually. So I think that was literally, there was like a nice thick set of algae in here, which is why I decided to go straight down. So I did pull a lot of algae out by doing this. I also pulled some algae out. Oh wait. Oh, I pulled some algae out when I expanded here up. However, I have this section locked off because you can see I have quite a bit of carbon dioxide throughout my base, and I am struggling right now to get breathable oxygen, which is why I just recently put in these scrubbers. And I think I have to actually cycle time for these to actually show that they yeah, okay, so they have what they need. They just need to get a little electricity in there. But yeah, I need to get oxygen in the base. So what I've been doing is I've been allowing the carbon dioxide to sink down into my base, and I'm using these gas pumps to pump the carbon dioxide. Let's see, light overlay gas plumbing, pumping up this carbon dioxide up here, I have a gas filter which makes sure that these the actual good oxygen gets kicked back out into my base, because there is good oxygen that ends up in this area the more I pump out bad oxygen. So what happens is this bad oxygen rises up and it gets released into this section, which is there is a little bit of oxygen in there, but it's slowly filling with carbon dioxide because I'm trying to get rid of it. I don't know if this is a really bad idea because eventually I'm going to have to expand or do something, and this carbon dioxide may become a problem later. I don't know. But that's the idea. There was a point in time, kind of like I was talking about the liquid not working, where I could not get this gas to pump, and it was absolutely killing me. But I eventually got it to work. I built it once, and then I had to go back and delete all the pipes again, and then redo all the pipes again, and then it would work again. But that was an issue. I don't know if the devs are aware of pipes sometimes deciding not to pump, or vents deciding not to release gas, whatever. Excuse me. But that's been my issue in this base. But as you can see, other than having high concentrations of oxygen, I've been sustaining this base fairly well. I've got a decent amount of food. It's keeping my population alive. I've been kind of making it happen. I do have quite a few people dead, but that was definitely at a time where oxygen levels were low, and I had to kind of get those back up. But that's a thing. I also was considering expanding out this way, but once again, we're gonna get into this very toxic air, and I don't know. This hydrogen is a thing. I don't know anything about that yet, other than that it can produce power for you. There's chlorine down here. I don't know anything about that. But if I could get this water to trickle down, maybe down into a pool down here, I don't know. I'm still learning the game, quite a bit. So I can expand as far as like up here and feel comfortable. Other than the fact that this is a pocket of bad air, because I won't be getting into this cold area, which I've barely now that I've like brushed up against it, I can see that the oxygen gets really low, or not oxygen, but the temperature gets really low. And then in one of my other files, I just barely got into this area, and I could see that temperature eventually becomes a big problem as well. So I don't even know. And like I said, getting into this area could just cause a whole lot of oxygen to be contaminated, and that's bad too. So I don't know if I should expand up. I don't know if I'll continue to expand down in this area and just try and, because I'm putting in these deodorizers to hopefully make up for all this polluted air that's going up, and then I want to put in a bunch of airlocks, horizontal airlocks, so that I can keep the toxic air from getting up here into my base. So I don't know. I wanted to get this puffed. I thought there was another one around. Maybe not. Okay, I want to at least get this one puffed. I thought there was another one, but maybe not. Okay. I guess not. But anyways, I want to get a puffed. This is my next goal in this one. I don't know. I was considering expanding downwards and making this pool a little bit bigger, but then it's going to mess with my pumps, so I don't know if I'm going to do that anytime soon. But that's this base. Like I was saying, I've got a lot of like cycles where my water, it cycles in a circle, and it just keeps pumping. Let's actually get this running. Or not. Is this gonna be a problem again? Oh boy, see it says it's doing a thing and it's not. This might literally, this has happened before and it just won't work. It says no power right now. Maybe that's just the issue. But when these stop, I've seen my base just get cast into oblivion, basically. You can see it working a little bit over here. There's the cycle, and it's creating oxygen. You know, it's creating oxygen for the base. So I have a cycle here. Oops. I have... this is my shower and bathroom system, and this eventually just gets purified and cast back in, and some of it gets dropped out just because at one point this all froze up, so I made a vent, and then it started to drip in, and then it started to recycle. So that cured it temporarily, but as you can see, there are times where it just doesn't run. Oh, they have to, yeah, because they have to use it every time. That's why this doesn't run. But it's confusing because this purifier should... Oh, it's because it's broken. Okay, never mind. But yeah, we have a circle here. We have a circle here. And we have a circle here. I didn't take off the pipe yet. So, do I need to yet? No, I don't. This is getting pumped over to the right, and then it's cycling up, and then it's cycling back. So, got a couple circles. So this eventually will produce oxygen back up into the base. I think these are the last things. I had this one over here, and then I think I built these two. Was the last thing I did in this base. So I'll have to see what happens. This is probably where I'm going to leave this episode, and if you guys want to stick with the first base I built, we can. If like I said, all three of these bases might get corrupt, so I wanted to show you them as as soon as possible. So yeah, so you can kind of see just an overview of how the base looks temporarily, and over the next few days, I might be... Just let me know if I should start with the first base, or if I should continue resuming the first base, or if I should pick up on the series with the second base or this base. This, like I said, this is the one that I did with the most knowledge of. This might be the best way to go, but maybe you guys like that first base and don't want to leave it. If you don't want to, we'll stick with it. But like I said, keep in mind, we will eventually have to start from scratch when the update comes out and the files get corrupt anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. This one was longer than all the others. There's a lot of explaining, but I felt like there was a lot of learning to be had, at least on my end. And maybe you guys learned something. But I don't know. Are you guys playing this game as well, or are you interested in it? Let me know. Currently, my guys are stressing the frick out. Oh, great. Okay, so let's just cast some of these guys in here. I usually check to see who's the most stressed out, but just for the sake of putting guys in there right now, I will. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, blow!